Hello, and welcome back to another My Porch Prints video tutorial. My name is Kaelyn, and today we're going to be putting together this spring skinny journal. So to start, I printed out all of my papers, front and back, so I ran through the journal pages on one side, flipped them over in the printer, and then printed the papers on the back side. And I made sure to print out my cover, I chose this one as my cover, on cardstock, and then everything else has been printed on paper. So I made sure to put all the papers in an order that I like. There's no specific order, just however you want to put them together. I like to alternate some of the floral images with some of the pictures of the birds or animals. And we're going to start by making sure that everything is lined up and even. I'm going to be inserting this little folio page in the middle too. And then I'm going to secure it with some clips. And then here I have our page hole punch guide that I've gone ahead and cut out. And we are going to be using this to line up our holes on our journal. So to start, I've got a little crocodile here. And I have it set on the smaller setting. That's the 1/8. And I'm going to go ahead and punch out our holes. And then I'm also going to use clips to secure our page hole punch guide to our papers. It's okay to take your time with this because we want everything to be lined up the best that we can get it. And then I'm just going to make a couple little marks in those holes so that we know where to punch. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove my guide. And then we're going to bring back out the crocodile, again on this smaller setting. And we're going to punch out our 3 holes. And then I'm going to be using the brad binding method for this one. So here I have our brads, and this method is super simple. I'm going to go through the back of our journal. And then just push the ends out and flatten them. Do the same thing for our other holes. I'm deciding to use these larger gold brads, partly because I really like the look of them, and partly because this is a one signature journal that we're doing, and I just wanted to make sure that I would have plenty of these ends here to flatten down, because if you have a lot of pages in your journal and you try and flatten these down, sometimes you won't have very much there and it can slip out. But if your journal isn't too thick, you can also use smaller brads if you like the look of those better. Alright, so now that we have our brads in, we can go ahead and fold this. It's probably a little easier to fold the journal before you put the brads in, but I like doing it after because I feel like I can make sure that things are lined up, and sometimes if I crease beforehand, I feel like things can get a little bit crooked. Right. And here I have some ribbon that I'm going to be using to tie mine up, kind of in a traveler's notebook style. So it'll tie closed just like that. Alright, so I realized I made a little bit of an error, not even really an error, but this is actually our folio pocket insert, and I used it as just kind of a folding card, which you can definitely do if you like the way that that looks. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'll show you how we assemble that. And it's also a great opportunity to show you why the brad binding method is so great, because things are really easy to remove. So it's as simple as just undoing the brads and then putting them back in place. All right, and there we go. So I'm gonna find a place in my journal to put this. And when we're assembling this, we have this little tab here that we're gonna put in the center of our fold out. And we're gonna glue it like this so that it can kind of fold out like this. I'm gonna go right here towards the back of my journal. To begin, I'm just going to put a thin line of glue here. And also, I think I got a little bit crooked here when I folded this, so I'm going to readjust. All right, and then we're going to line this up with our page. And we're going to glue this edge and this edge. All right, so that creates a pretty little fold out. All right, and then the last part of this folio pocket is just adding on these little pockets. Sometimes we have them where they're illusion type pockets. I'll show you one of those, like these, where you actually match up the image. So you'll see me as we're decorating this later. I'll match some of these up. But for these ones, I'm just using a couple of extra pockets that are with the kit. All right, so that goes in just like that. So before we do our decorating, I'm going to show you how you can add in your tri-fold sheet. And so you can pick a place in your journal, anywhere you'd like. And this can go on either side of the journal, depending on how you fold it. It can either go, on this side and pull out like this, or you can fold it the other way on this side, and it can fold out like this. So it's whatever your preference is. I think I'm going to be doing mine on this right side. And we're just going to fold along the lines. And then we're going to add glue on the back of this side here. If you want, you can leave the glue off of here, and this could become a tuck point, and just add it onto this edge, which I think is what I'm going to do. Right, and then our little trifold can pull out like this. And we have a little space in here, once this dries properly, that we can tuck in some ephemera. And another note I want to add is if you don't like how this is kind of popping out, you can use a really small paper clip like this and just kind of pin it down. And then that will help hold it in place. And when you're ready, you can take it off and fold it out. All right, so as you can see, assembly for these is really easy, especially using the brad binding method. And so we're ready to start decorating. So go ahead and follow along with me, and hopefully you'll get some ideas for decorating your own journal. All right, that's it for our spring journal. We can go ahead and take a quick flip through this so you can see how it all came together. So that's it for our spring journal. I hope you enjoyed following along and got some ideas for making your own skinny journal, and we'll see you in our next video. Thanks, bye.